Hi, I'm Coach Hall, and welcome to the next lesson in Sports Coaching University, the LTAD and the SDS, Beginner to Advance. Hey, this is Coach Hall. Let me go over a few things to help you with your lessons before we start this course. Please take the time to check out the resource section. If you're using a desktop, move your mouse over and click the bullet list icon up in the left-hand corner. This will open up a slide-out screen where you can access links, MP3s, and PDFs. If you're on a mobile device, you'll need to turn your device to the vertical position to see the list of lectures and more. The default will be lectures. So to get to the resources, you'll need to click on More. Here you'll have a number of options. Scroll down the list until you see the bullet list icon, and next to it will be the word resources. Click on this area and you'll get a list of all the lectures. Find the lecture you're on and click on it, and you'll see the resources that you can download or click to access. Here in this lesson, I provided 3 workbooks. One is the course workbook. It's designed to maximize learning by getting you to engage kinesthetic learning. You see, taking notes aids in learning. So use the workbook to help you get better at comprehending this course. In addition to this course workbook, you'll find in different places links to assist you. And I've added a bonus guide not mentioned in the course description. It's located in the wrap-up section. Please download all of the workbooks at your leisure. Oh, for those of you who like to learn on the run, each lesson comes with an audio version as well, the MP3s. So if you like to listen while moving about, I've got you covered. Well, that's it for now. Best of luck and enjoy the course. This particular lesson, we're going to start really getting into the meat of the course. We're going to start talking about how we can start becoming the optimal coach. Now, anytime I start a season or start anything new in life in general, I take an assessment of my situation. I call this the evaluation. And the first thing I do is I take an inventory of things. What do I got? Okay. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to actually have to do some homework. So you came to this course. We're going to give you a little bit of homework. And the reason for this homework is just so you start to really get into a mindset that's going to be different perhaps to what you've been exposed to before. We're going to be shifting gears around. We've all been brought up in this culture that is going to have to change if we're going to become an optimal coach. All right, so the first question that needs to be asked and that you've got to answer is, what do you know? Okay, so let's say you want to coach baseball, right? Maybe it's Mustang League, or maybe it's T-ball, or maybe it's coach's pitch. Whatever level that you're going to be coaching, you have to answer this question. What do you know? What do you know about the sport? What do you know about kids? Right? What do you know about coaching? What do you know about the league? What do you know about the facility? What do you know? That's the question. And so I want you to think about that. What do you know? And it's okay if you don't know anything, because we don't all know stuff. In fact, there's a number of sports I've never coached, and I would be a little bit hesitant to just jumping right in. I'd be able to step in and do some good from basically just connecting with the kids and understanding how to coach them. But in terms of the specifics, let's say for example, I've never coached lacrosse. So if somebody grabbed me and said, "Hey, Coach Hall, come and coach some lacrosse," we go, "Whoa, man, I kind of know what the rules are. I've seen a few lacrosse games, but I don't know enough about the game at all to be, teaching the fundamentals of the sport." So I would have to find a way to get that information. And so that leads us to the second question. What is available for us to get the information that we don't know? So that's your second question, and that you need to answer in your homework. Where can you get the information that you don't know? If you have an idea, go ahead and write that stuff down, jot it down. You could pause the tape right now, pause the lesson, and go do this, or you can wait and write the questions down and then answer them later, whatever way you want to do it. But these questions need to be answered before we move on to the next lesson. So what's the third thing that we need to do. When we do these sorts of questions, what we're really doing is what I call a baseline inventory. Trying to figure out what we have available to us right here. What's all the stuff that we got? And I want to get it out on the table, right? And I do this when it comes to the beginning of a season, for example. My sport primarily is basketball. So at the beginning of every season, I'm going to take an inventory of things. I'm going to look at last year's schedule. Okay, I'm going to look at my training schedule. I'm going to look at the practice schedules. I'm going to look at all this stuff. I'm going to look at everything that I taught last year and all the manuals and papers and everything. I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to see if any of that's relevant for the new season. If it is, I'm going to keep it. And if there's stuff that just is obsolete, out it goes, right? So I'm doing an inventory. I'm looking at what I have. I'm going to look at my equipment. I'm going to look at my contact list. I'm going to look at the facilities. I'm going to look at a number of different things when it comes to my inventory. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an assessment. All right, so I get my kids together for the first time, and some of them I know because I've coached them before, but there's going to be some new kids I haven't seen them before. I don't know who they are. There are new kids that are playing sports for the first time and kids that moved in from out of town. And so what I want to do is do an evaluation. I want to figure out what level of skill that they have. Right? So we usually have an open tryouts, or we even call it an evaluation process in the leagues that I participated in. So we do an evaluation, but I want you to do a self-evaluation. Okay? I want you to do a self-assessment. Okay? So the questions to get to that assessment are as follows. What are your values? You may say to yourself, what does that got to do with anything? Well, it means everything if we want to change the cultural dynamic of coaching. Okay, I don't know if you have any coaching background at all, if you're brand new at this. What you're going to find, if you've been doing some research, is a certain mentality, a certain way of coaching that people are going to be presenting to you, and you're going to likely want to adopt that mentality. And I'm telling you, if you do, you're going to be doing more harm than good for your kids. You're going to be part of that 70% of them dropping out equation that I mentioned in the previous lesson. We don't want to do that. We want to create a new culture, and the way we create that new culture is by answering this question. What are your values? Okay, that might be a tough one to answer. It might take you all night to figure that one out, because you have to figure out really what your values are. Once you get your values aligned, then you have an idea of how you want to proceed forward with all of this other stuff that we're going to be talking about in this course, and how it applies to everything you have in front of you now in terms of the inventory and what you've assessed of yourself. Okay, all this stuff is going to tie together. So that's the third question in your homework assignment. Question number 4, what are your goals? What's your goal of being a coach? You have your values, and how can you align those values up to achieve the goals? Okay, if your goal is, I want to win a championship, I want my name in the newspaper, I want to be standing there in a picture on the front page of a local newspaper, with me and all my kids surrounding me with a big smile on their face, and then we go to a Chuck E. Cheese or some pizza place afterwards and have a big party. That's my goal. Okay, if that's your goal, look at your values, and are they going to be lined up in order for you to achieve those goals? And what assessment have you done that basically gives you the mindset that's going to happen? And what have you done with your inventory that's going to be, you're going to look at and go, okay, I've got everything I need here to make that happen. Okay, but big picture wise, this will give you an idea of where you're at, where your mindset is at, as we do our own evaluation on our ability to coach. All right, come join me in the next lesson as we start to move forward in Sports Coaching University.